So despite the fact that he has been telling us for months and months that Donald Trump is so famous, why would he need to run ads? Everybody already knows how awesome he is. Donald Trump has begun this week spending millions of dollars on ads. He said that he's doing a $2 million ad buy that'll air in Iowa and New Hampshire, the two most critical primary states. Now, we want to talk about some of the backlash over this ad. We want to criticize it, and so we're going to show you some. But I want you to understand the distinction between why we're choosing to do this and why people like Joe Scarborough and other people on MSNBC and CNN just played on a loop. Over 60 times they played his ad already this week.
Jesus Christ.
No critical commentary. They'll show the ad and then they'll say, well, what effect might this have in Iowa? Don't question the claims in it, the insane bullshit that he spouts. We're not doing that. We have no interest in giving him free publicity, and we have a feeling at this point most of his fans will have checked out. So I think it's safe to show you a little bit of the ad, which you're going to see in this video.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
The politicians can pretend it's something else, but Donald Trump calls it radical Islamic terrorism. That's why he's calling for a temporary shutdown of Muslims entering the United States until we can figure out what's going on. He'll quickly cut the head off ISIS and take their oil. And he'll stop illegal immigration by building a wall on our southern border that Mexico will pay for.
We will make America great again.
Okay, so this guy's, I know
Great
he's
sense.
unbelievable, but when you see it in the form of an ad, it's just distilled down to its core evil.
Yeah. Like
So-
that's an SNL skit right there.
Yeah. He says temporary ban on Muslims, and he shows like guys in masks and like ISIS and stuff. So seemingly implying all Muslims trying to get in this country, who are actually the overwhelming majority of which are trying to run away from ISIS, are ISIS and Islamic radicals. He's the only one brave enough to call it Islamic radical jihadis, except every other Republican in the race. So very, very brave, very bold. And then he threw it in there, and we'll chop ISIS's heads off.
Quickly.
Yeah, and by the way, I thought that's why we were fighting them, because they were chopping heads off. Okay, and then we will steal their oil.
We'll just take the oil.
No, but it isn't their oil. It's the oil of the Iraqi people and the Syrian people. They're stealing it in the first place. Us stealing it instead of them doesn't really make the situation better. But if you're a Republican base voter, you don't really care about any of this. Oh, that's cool. We're beheading them and stealing their oil. Yay, us!
What does he even think that means? We take their oil. And so what, like every month you run down to the mailbox and you just take out a bag of oil? He just sends it to every American? No, at best what that means is we send in an American oil company. And guess how much I care whether it's a foreign or American oil company in Iraq? I don't give two shits. Actually, the only thing that makes me prefer the international oil company is at least then they can't take that money and donate it to American politicians. In most cases, sometimes the Clintons. But anyway, he thinks that that's totally reasonable, obviously. Now let's bring up the controversy that's come out of this, because you saw a lot of footage there. I mean, the controversy for some reason isn't that he shows Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama and then immediately fades into the faces of a male and female terrorist. People don't have a problem with that. It's the immigration section where you see a border, presumably with Mexico, and a bunch of people running over it. But it turns out, no, it's not in Mexico. It was in Morocco. And of course, they don't say that in the ad. They just imply that that's the current situation in Mexico, despite the fact that just this week a new report came out that it's no longer net zero immigration and leaving the U.S. of Mexican immigrants. They're actually more leaving than coming in. So they are running, but back towards Mexico. He doesn't mention that. He doesn't mention the fact that it's Morocco there. But when they were called on it, they had a number of different funny responses. So first, we're going to bring up right here their initial response. The use of the footage was intentional and selected to demonstrate the severe impact of an open border and the very real threat Americans face if we do not immediately build a wall and stop illegal immigration. The biased mainstream media doesn't understand, but Americans who want to protect their jobs and their families do. Now, if you support Trump, there is little about this world you currently understand, I would say. So it's on purpose. That's explanation number one, on purpose.
So it made it seem like that was our border with Mexico. So they're saying, yes, we lied on purpose. And the liberal media has a bias for pointing out facts. Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, totally, yeah. We got a couple of video clips for you. So in this one, you're going to see Donald Trump speaking with O'Reilly. And remember, this was by purpose, by design. Let's see if that comports with what Trump is going to say in this clip.
Now, you just put out an ad that features the southern border, and you're saying that you're going to put up a wall and stop the madness. Now, you're criticized because some of the video in the ad, which looks like it's from Mexico, is from Morocco. So the press is all over you on that. How do you react?
All it is a display of what it's going to look like and what our country looks like. That was just video footage. It's just display of what our country is going to look like. We're like a third world country. We're a dumping ground. So you can just take it any way you want.
Right, so you don't think the video is a little misleading with the talk of the border fence for Mexico?
No,
you use a Morocco video. You don't think that's misleading?
No, I think it's irrelevant. All we want to do is what it's going to look like. They picked something. They could have picked something else. We could pick plenty of footage, that I can tell you, Bill.
You should have probably put the Mexican footage in there, though, because you got to be careful about, you know, what the media is after you, and I'm going to get to that in a moment.
Yeah, not you should be careful with the facts. You should be careful because the media is after you.
Yeah. Well, the media, I would hope, would know about the report I was just talking about, that there's actually more leaving than coming. So first, it was intentional. The next time, whatever, we could have chosen whatever footage we want. He doesn't care. He said this is what our country could look like. This is what our country looks like. We're a third world country. We are a dumping ground. These people who are working so hard, in many cases dying, trying to get into this country, are garbage who are being dumped into our country. That's what he believes. Now,
if Barack Obama had called America a dumping ground, there would have been such a national firestorm. It would have been unbelievable.
Can you, a third world country, if he just implied we were a third world country.
Oh, you hate America. Why do you hate America so much? It's Donald Trump, leading contender on the Republican side, is running a campaign about how much America sucks. And the Republicans are eating it up, and the media is actually not pointing out that particular hypocrisy at all from the guys who claim they love America.
Yeah. Yeah, and look, I get that he has to run some ads in these states. I mean, we're less than a month out now from Iowa. But it seems like if you're going to run the ad, and if one of the main characteristics of your candidacy, perhaps in a way that no primary candidate has ever had before, that you have been on the news being pushed into people's face 24/7 for a very long time, to run an ad where you literally say the same exact things that you have always said, that seems to me like to be a waste. I would imagine that you'd want to provide something new. He has learned nothing. And I understand he doesn't need to learn anything. He's currently winning. But you would imagine that even then, like, react to what the other candidates are doing. Adapt your... Nothing. Nothing.
No.
This is the same speech he gave after he slowly went down that escalator at the Trump Hotel.
Yeah, but it worked for him.
It totally worked. I get that.
Look, two things. One, I actually agree with this strategy. If something's working, you pound it. In politics, remember, we have to hear it every day, but most people never hear it at all. He's trying to reach people that haven't heard it before, and so they go, "Oh yeah, you hate Muslims and Mexicans too? Shit, so do I, man. Yeah, I'm voting for you." And then secondly, I actually don't think this is that big a controversy. Yeah, it's obviously misleading footage, but they've done so much worse. They did so much worse in that ad. So
that's true. Like I said, the whole fading to terrorists thing.
Yeah, so now when the spokespeople come out and go, yeah, whatever. Yeah, of course, it's the wrong footage. Who cares? I think the Republican voters go, yeah, who cares? Goddamn liberal media pointing out facts, right?
Plus, what's Morocco?
Yeah, it's Morocco, Mexico, same thing. We don't like either one of them.
Yeah, they share a border. What's the difference?
Well, you might want to check that.